Hi, my name is Lavonda Summers, and this is my story.
So tell me when and by whom were you molested?
Okay, so at the age of 10, I was molested by my uncle. My dad had left me alone with his brother. And I was sitting on the couch, and he had put me on top of him. And I was just staring into his eyes, and when he got done, he just sat me on the couch. And I never even cried, I just stayed looking at him. And I remember telling my dad what happened. And he did nothing about it. And he brushed it off. He was like, nah, it's okay, you're fine. It's okay, you're fine. And I just went silent.
So how long after when the guy at the church molested you?
So a year or so later, I went to go visit one of my friends. She wasn't there, but her dad was. And he's a minister at the church that we've been going to since I was younger. And he started touching me. And I asked him to stop touching me, and he didn't. And for some reason, I ended up running upstairs. And he continued to touch me. I ended up pushing him off me, and I ran out the front door, and I ended up running home, and I ended up telling my mom and her husband. And again, they didn't do anything. And at the time, my mom was working at the restaurant that the church had owned, and the man who just touched me came over and started talking to me. And I looked at my mom, and she just continued cooking. Like nobody protected me. So I met my ex-husband at church. We got married. We had our son and our daughter. And then he had found out that in Philadelphia they were looking for a pastor with a family. And he applied and he got the job. We had what they thought was the perfect family, a boy and a girl and a beautiful wife. And we were by all means supposed to remain that way, but my family was far from that. From the beginning, my ex has spent nothing but time trying to destroy me. He used to drop little bombs to people and little lies to people and like conjure up these manipulative stories. And I knew he was saying that about me, but I said nothing. Because my job was to protect his reputation and not mine.
Why was it your job to protect his reputation?
Because that's all I knew. That's all I knew growing up. I've been so silent my whole life that if I talk about one thing, then the whole story crumbles. You gotta talk about everything. You gotta face everything that you never spoke about. That means I have to look in the mirror and really talk about everything. But I believe that shutting down and allowing God to fight was best, because I think I would have lost everything, even my children.
So after you guys split, how did God start putting the pieces back together?
I got married this year, May 21st, to the love of my life, my soulmate. Stephen has helped me with everything. I didn't know what love was. I didn't know how to love. I didn't know how to be vulnerable. I didn't know what friendship was. I've been able to express vulnerability and friendship. Stephen has also helped me with my kids. Without Stephen, I don't think I would have made it through with my son and what he had to go through. That was the hardest thing. Even my daughter, I can honestly say I wouldn't have made it through. I'm grateful for Stephen. I'm grateful for his strength and him allowing me to lean on him through my tough times.
So how did you guys get to Bethel?
In July 2021, I've reached the breaking point. I was staring in the mirror way too long. My kids kept telling me about everything that they were going through and still going through. Then I couldn't hear God anymore, I couldn't see anymore, and I was like, I have nothing else to give. So I told my husband, I said, we need to find a church. We said, we're gonna go visit Bethel. Coming to Bethel, I felt peace. I didn't feel heaviness. They made it so simple to the point where childlike understanding, Bethel brought me back to that. And I needed that because I felt like God was so far. It's life-changing. It's peaceful. There's a peace that comes along with being in Bethel. There's a peace that comes along with being surrounded by the people of Bethel. There's a story that's here. There's a freedom that's here.